I want to introduce the person who will be speaking with him, Mr. Liu and Mr. Hoa Ngô. Welcome, and thank you so much for coming to speak.
Hi everybody, my name is Hoa Ngô. Everybody know me, pick up track every day in here, but today I talk about my job in Vietnam. I the lieutenant in the South Vietnam Army. Yeah. Today I talk about why I come here. I come here for refugee because after April 30, the fall of Saigon, April 30, 1975. When the fall of Saigon, the company take all the people service on South Vietnam, go to the jail. They take me in the jail 6 years. After 6 years prisoner of war, I go home with no job. And I'm lucky the government, United States government, accept for my family go to American for refugee. And when I come here, I have a job opportunity and do something. After that, I apply for custodian, and I get job in San Ramon Valley School the year 2000. Now I work here almost 17 years. I love my job. I proud my job because when I prisoner of war 6 years, I work very hard every day, and 6 years I only eat potato. Because the prisoner, the government not pay anything. When you have sick, no doctor, no nurse, you only take something. You have your friend help you some tree, something can help you look like the medicine, not the real medicine. That's why a lot of people dead in the jail. I only talk about when I come here. I'm very lucky. I thank you. The government give me the job and give my children a lot of chance. Now my brother talk with you about the Vietnamese war and the fall of Saigon. This is my brother.
Good morning, Monte Vista. This is a surprise. I was supposed to be a standby translator for my brother at arms. We graduated like about 50,000 officers from the same infantry school. And now Mr. Ngô volunteered me to talk about the Vietnam War. Yes, a deep, deep silence whenever we talk about it in front of a crowd. a very deeply divisive war, no less divisive than the civil war of the US of A. Would you agree? All right. As you can see, as of today, there are still books, a lot of scholars, historians, writing about our US Civil War. Guess what? There are numberless documents that haven't been declassified after 42 years on the Vietnam War. You are lucky, I am lucky, he's lucky, we are here. And the Congress keeps archives of those documents. They don't destroy them. They preserve them. Not like the communist regimes. Fires happen, so certain documents disappear, will never surface to the limelight of scrutiny by scholars. Anyway, as any civil war, atrocities, tortures are just a commonplace. Look at what is happening in Syria for the last 7 years or so. People like Mr. Ngô here once served, now a defunct regime, a defunct flag. Thanks goodness, there are hundreds of thousands of people who continue to support the flag here representing the Vietnamese refugees and the free Vietnamese around the world. Now, it is a huge area for you to discuss and study. After World War II, or during the end of World War II, two superpowers, two super blocs started to emerge and try to compete to rule the whole world. That's my perspective. In Vietnam, like in any other colonies of the West, there was many movements for independence. Unlike the English, when they withdrew from India, they turned the power, the authority, over to the Indian government. And thanks goodness, India had Mr. Gandhi. In Vietnam, we had many movements. And the French, I am educated the French way, but the French has a very firm belief in to divide, to conquer. If you divide, you conquer. Watch out. Even in the US right now, watch out. It's getting divisive. Don't get divided. Let's always rally under this flag. So Vietnam, under the French, got divided into three sections. The South, as a colony of France. The center, as the Empire of Vietnam. And the North, as a protectorate of the French. When we were losing the war during World War II, and some of my friends and even my relatives who are French, I keep teasing them, don't forget the time when you lost the war and that the US came to rescue you. And don't forget those times when instead of turning peacefully the power to the locals, you actually mess it up. You would not relinquish it. You would try to hang on to it until you were defeated at Dien Bien Phu. Have you heard of or have you read about the Art of War of Sun Tzu? Not the film by those actors. Anyone here has read about? Yes. What can you tell me about it?
One of the things that it mentions is to surround the enemy and mountain passes.
Many lessons one can learn from that tiny booklet about the art of war. And it applies to what you do in your daily life. In a different way, in a very personal, sometimes very intimate way. Now back to your question, Mom. So the French messed it up so much that we had so many movements, and finally they were defeated. And in the Treaty of Geneva 1954, they cut the country into two, the North and the South. Simple. North belonging, quote unquote, to the independent movement of the Viet. Actually, they were communists in disguise. And the South, the Republic of Vietnam. The Republic of Vietnam, although people love to call it South Vietnam, the formal name is the Republic of Vietnam. It's a real republic where people voted the elected officials. That was, in a nutshell, the reason why Vietnam was divided into two. And from that, during the split, the cutting off of Vietnam into two pieces, the US came again to the rescue of the French. Almost 1 million people, and I was a teenager at that time, became refugees within our own country, leaving the North for the South, for freedom. Who provided all those ships, the logistics, like Mr. Ngô mentioned, even the food to those almost 1 million people? It's always the US of A to the rescue. Remember that. That's why I'm so proud. So proud of being an American citizen. Yes, so after 54, the country was divided into two. Then what happened? The two blocks, which are the two superpower blocks. The one next to the red one there. Yes, in those days, in the 50s of last century, which are the two military blocks? Louder?
The United States and USSR.
Yes, absolutely.
Today I salute for 85,000 American soldiers dead in Vietnam. You know, the Vietnam War, the American people don't want to talk about the Vietnamese War because this a lot of soldiers dead in Vietnam. Today, I'm very proud to see everybody here, and I thank you, Mr. Allison, invite me talk about myself. Thank you very much.
us a little bit more? You mentioned that one of the consequences of your service to your country was that the Vietnamese government put you in jail for a long time. Can you tell us a little bit about that? And then also if Mr. Lê can share, Lu can share some of his experiences as well.
In Vietnam, my job is
Mr. Ngô was an officer of what we call the Psycho War Unit. It's a psychological war that in Vietnam we actually made it into a special branch of the services instead of hiding it under different names.
I'm not direct the fight with the communist. I only talk. And you know, when I go to army in the year 1972, I only served 3 years. From 1992 to 1975, and I get the jail 6 years. When I in the jail, you know, every day I work very hard, and I make something, I plan something, I eat something. When I free, I go home, no job, and I have family do pottery. And when I come here, I still do pottery. And I have friends recommend me go to apply job in San Ramon district. I'm very proud with my job now. Yeah, and I wait only 2 years and I retire. Now I 64. Thank you. When I in the jail, you know, the communist take all people live in the South Vietnam to the North Vietnam in the forest. The parents don't know where I live, and they don't have the family bring supply for prisoner. And once a year, sometimes the family go visit, bring some sugar, some candy, because sometimes the prisoner don't eat any meat, no sugar, no can. When the family come, the prisoner very happy because have a sugar, some supply. Because in the jail, no meat, only potato and some salt like that. But when I go out prisoner, I think about 35 kilograms. That's why when I hear the government U.S. accept for the people who prisoner 3 years or more, the apply for come to United States, the family very happy. Because I'm a 6 years, but the government United States accept the people who prisoner 3 years or more. But I'm 6 years and I apply and I go United States 1990. The first time I don't have relatives here, and the church Lutheran, the Lutheran church in the Georgia sponsor for my family come to Georgia. And I live in Georgia early 6 months, and I moved to California because I have some friend, and they say California a lot of people Vietnamese, and my family went, now move to California 1991, and I do pottery 9 years, and after that I apply job, and I get job 1 year 2000.
Nói cái việc anh phải làm trong một ngày trong tù, anh phải một ngày trong tù.
Yeah. The one day work in the jail, the community, the 6 a.m. everybody wake up and go to the field, work until 6 p.m. and go home. Every day, the people go to plant corn, plant potato. You cut your tree in the forest, and you dig the root out, and you plant. This one day, the 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. You go home. After when you're free, you and your children not go to your good job because your history, your bad history, you can have a job only you do something labor. No. If you go university, no, never, because my children look like the bad history from parents. Thank you.
And back to the question of a lady over there about Vietnam, why it was divided. I believe I addressed that more or less. But before you go, give me 30 seconds. Thomas Jefferson once wrote, educate, inform the whole mass of the people, for they are the only sure reliance for the preservation of our liberty. With that, I applaud the effort of Mrs. Peruzo, the courage of Mr. Ngô to stand up here and share his very intimate experiences. And please, do take at least one takeaway from this presentation. Your teachers are challenging you through this presentation with food for thought. Put on your intriguing, inquisitive, critical thinking cap during your daily trials. With that, big applause to the teachers and Mr. Hoá.